Hello there, Commonwealth from here. Hyrule in Top Down Zelda, when handled by Nintendo, has always been based on the world of A Link to the Past. This was the case with A Link Between Worlds in 2013 and now Echoes of Wisdom in 2024. Though there's a need to change A Link Hyrule, so be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell, and let's continue. Echoes of Wisdom has the benefit of never starting as a remake, which A Link Between Worlds did. Throughout its development, it has been a brand new game. When our producer Eiji Aonuma demanded to challenge the biggest convention of not only 2D top-down, but the entire Zelda franchise, playing as Link. Instead, we're now playing as the title character Zelda. But the challenging of conventions also applied to the land of the Princess's Kingdom, since what the Tears of the Kingdom lack. Not counting the caves, new surface territory or expansion to the land of Hyrule, that is to say, entirely new provinces. And here's the thing, in the reveal trailer of Echoes of Wisdom, we see locations inherited from A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, but also a number of locations that are brand new. Naturally, the center of the land appears to have a very similar layout to those two games, with Hyrule Castle in the center, the effing rocks as I call them to its southeast, further east the Eastern Palace, but this one is no longer the furthest easternmost boundary. Indeed, there is land beyond. Even Lake Hylia has changed to some degree, as it is bigger and deeper, and the same goes north of the Princess's Seat of Power, that is to say, to the east and west of the Sanctuary and Graveyard. To the west of the castle, we also find a giant stone complex not present in the A Link games. But that is just the title reveal scene, since in the actual trailer and the first overview, we see a clear emphasis on what has changed, both in the center of the world and its peripheries. A significant expansion of Hyrule to fit much of what we are used to in the Era of the Wild and Tears games. Since Hyrule of A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds was in desperate need of more territory and distances. As in those two games, Kakariko is more or less right next to Hyrule Castle, while also marking the western boundary of the kingdom from said castle. Lost Woods to its north share the same role in the west, and to its north leading up to the pedestal of the Master Sword. In Echoes of Wisdom, you cannot see Kakariko from the reveal shot, as even central Hyrule to its west is far bigger than it used to be, with new structures added to fill in some of the biggest space. The distance to the main settlement of both the SNES and 3DS Zelda games has grown. With it, there's a bigger need for fast travel points. Enter the yellow activated, and still to be activated Morse code like stone pillars. Or to put it more into context, shrine-like stones, as this game is very much a top-down Zelda, tailored for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom newcomers. A game that is delivering on two missing details in the two opener Zelda games, being able to explore an inhabited castle town and get to play as Princess Zelda. The Zelda team, supervising this project, knew exactly what they were doing when planning the premise of the 21st title in the series, one where we are likely to be able to explore most of the map early on in the game. The number of these shrine-like shaped potential teleportation points are a most visible proof of the great extension to Hyrule. And it is this expansion of the classic maps that allowed this game to come out a little over a year after Tears of the Kingdom. From the footage alone, we know that significant parts of the north and west have seen space added. One of the reasons likely being to match the landscape variety found in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, though with a little twist. Namely, mirroring. You see, since A Link to the Past introduced Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain as a regular mountain, and from Ocarina of Time, at least in the 3D games, it has been a volcanic chain, but not only that, it's been located to the northeast of Hyrule Castle. That is to say, until Echoes of Wisdom, where its volcano is located to the west of Hyrule Castle. And this is not only the case in the title reveal scene, but also the expanded box art of the game. From this perspective, we can also target two additional details. Number 1, the volcano is now directly north of Kakariko Village, like in the 3D games. Secondly, we now have an alpine snow-covered chain with snow peaks in the east. Snow that was not present in Hyrule in both A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. Let's call it this game's equivalent to the Hebra chain, only in the east rather than the west. In other words, we know that there's been an expansion to the north from these two scenes, and more so, art alone. But wait, there's more evidence. From the water ascent scene, we can see on the minimap that Zelda is in the process of climbing up the volcano from where Kakariko Village. We know this from the windmill icon, which is representing the mill present in the official art to the west of Hyrule Castle. Let's face it, already as it is, this map of Hyrule is far bigger than in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. Which is fitting, seeing what hardware the 21st Zelda game is on, namely the Nintendo Switch, and which two titles and maps Princess Zelda needs to jump after: Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And then I mean jumping literally. As a result, for 2D Zelda to remain relevant, there was no other choice to expand the most sacred overworld, not only to prevent facing the 3-strike rule, but to deliver something new on every level. And in the case of Tears of the Kingdom, its Hyrule, or in technical terms the surface, never got. But wait, Conrad, the caves, they're within the same land, not in new territory. Yes indeed, but Echoes of Wisdom has also plenty of brand new caves. And do you know also what Echoes of Wisdom has over Tears of the Kingdom? More brand new settlements that it didn't inherit from the existing map. You see, Tears of the Kingdom added one single settlement that was not in Breath of the Wild, Lookout Landing. While already from the reveal of Echoes of Wisdom, we know of at least 2 that have not been in A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, yes even 4 Swords Adventures. The first one is even in the box art, Castletown on the Hyrule Castle. We see it from the fountain, though we also got 3 glimpses of it from the game itself. At a distance seen in the title reveal scene, close up in the stolen away text premise, and finally from the entrance as the disguised Princess Zelda leaves the main gate of the settlement. One may ask, why do we need Castletown when Kakariko is nearby? Well, that is the part of the twist, since as we already have mentioned, that is no longer the case. Kakariko Village is further away than ever before in Top Down Zelda. All thanks to the expanded territory and the new landmark or stone complex placed before reaching Kakariko in the west. Hence why we have Castletown in this game. The second settlement is what I'm already calling Gerudo Town, based on the solid building Zelda is passing past towards one of the Gerudo inhabitants. This entire scene takes place in a desert province. The minimap confirms it, no matter whether it is called the Desert of Gerudo or Mysteries. There are also several shop buildings found in this river scene, and likely with this increased emphasis on urbanism due to larger distances, I have the following theory: a settlement in nearly all corners of the kingdom. To the west of Castletown we already have Kakariko Village and southwest Gerudo Town, which begs the question, what is to the north and east? And that is one of the great appeals of Echoes of Wisdom: bigger world with more settlements, but between these also expanded territories in areas that were found in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, but also with landscapes or nature not present in those iconic titles. The most noticeable, apart from 2 fire and ice rather than 1 mountain range, is that this game offers a lush jungle. Add to that with tropical wildlife as seen from this parrot flying away from Princess Zelda's Echo shenanigans. It goes without saying, we have never had a jungle in top-down Zelda before, so this is no doubt a brand new area. It also explains why they didn't show the minimap for this scene. Let's also not forget the other new races not seen in top-down Hyrule before, namely the Sea Zora, who likely live in their own domain, with its own structures or even settlement, separate from the River Zora, or the Deku race with sprouts, and even the Great Deku Tree, who was never in top-down Zelda's Hyrule. And if you want to go even further, the Sheikah, who might finally be also found in Kakariko in top-down Zelda. Each of these teasers from the June Nintendo Direct that give us an indication of the scope of the vast lands of Hyrule, and more specifically, the game itself. Add to that volcanic and cave areas like in Tears of the Kingdom, and even on the water as seen from 2 of the scenes in the reveal. Naturally, most of these will be in separate loading areas, but some, like in a deeper lake Hylia, might not be. Then we have the open-air gameplay with gliding, and interactivity with the world itself, all in line with what have become staples in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The result being a more organic top-down Zelda experience, with pieces of heart scattered across the land. And who knows, based on this scene with the sea urchin, even a proper coastline like in Link's Awakening and sea added to top-down Hyrule. And most likely it is, since why would there otherwise be a starfish right next to Zelda? For real with this potential sea, most likely in the east. I'm wondering if this overworld might be around 30 to to 50% bigger than the Hyrule we know and love from the SNES and 3DS A Link games. It is quite spectacular that we received all of this information, hints and teasers from the first introduction of the 21st Zelda. But what do you look forward to the most in Zelda Echoes of Wisdom Bigger Top Down Hyrule? Sound off in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell and with all notifications. Last but not least, a big thanks to you for watching and to all our patreon.com/commonrealm patrons. Special shoutouts go to raw producers Zach Johnson and JC Funk, and heroes Holly Wolf, Chero and Garrett Hoy. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.